Hi everyone, my name is Zach. We're really excited to be here. RVCA represents the soul of our segment compared to anyone in our competition. But right now, that soul is being restricted to the coast. But we know it's not just found on the coast. We recognize that the entire country can identify with RVCA values. And we can liberate these values through a one-of-a-kind promotion. RVCA Tattoo Tents. They're popping up on college campuses all across the United States, offering students the one-of-a-kind experience to consult with a RVCA tatsmith. They'll receive personalized designs that reflect something truly unique. You. And some girls and guys will receive the opportunity to get their design tattooed on the spot. These experiences will be captured with viral videos that feature the students and the artist's journeys. And each of these videos will be strategically and incrementally dispersed, each communicating a single part of a brand value that Dalal will help us to understand.
Okay, so we previously analyzed the guys who live by the coast segment. Today we're focusing on girls, specifically 19 years old girls who live in the city, away from the coast. And through intensive research, we found out what 19 years old girls value the most: the freedom of self-expression. We actually arrived at this conclusion by building the RVCA value ladder, which is based on 4 factors. First, attributes. RVCA clothes are comfortable, versatile, simple, yet artistic. Second, the functional benefits. RVCA girls want to do all the activities that makes them themselves in their clothing. Third, the emotional benefits. RVCA girls want to reclaim their laid-back attitude and be themselves. And fourth, their most prized value ever, which is to loosen up and live like they want. And all of that is achieved by the freedom of self-expression. And now, Raunak is going to explain what this value means for RVCA.
So we looked at the value for the 19-year-old girl, which is freedom of self-expression. But how does this love translate for RVCA, especially when RVCA is trying to move away from the coast? The key question is, where do we find these girls? We looked at some secondary research data and used 3 parameters. The first, the population density of 19-year-old women. Second, past spending trends on apparel and especially athleisure wear. Third, more than average education, because we are focusing on the 19-year-old women who go to colleges. So based on these 3 factors, we arrived at 4 locations of New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. And now that we have looked at the demographic details, let's delve a bit deeper into the psychographics of a 19-year-old woman. The typical 19-year-old woman is stepping into adulthood. And what does she really want? Through our research, we come to know that she wants to express, she wants to be an individual, and she wants to be unique. Having said that, let me call upon Jennifer to explain how these values relate to tattoos.
So, I know what you guys are thinking. What do tattoos have to do with 19-year-old girls? That sounds like maybe a bit of a stretch, right? Actually, it fits pretty well. According to a study by Texas State University, the top 3 reasons that young college-aged women choose to get tattoos are to express themselves, to be an individual, and to be unique. Over 2/3 of the respondents in that survey chose these answers, and obviously fits pretty well with RVCA's brand values. Also, young people are getting tattoos at much higher rates than people in older age groups. It's becoming a lot more socially acceptable, and people are taking advantage of that. According to a different study, 47% of millennials have one or more tattoos. That's a huge amount. Almost half of people that age group have a tattoo. In comparison, 36% of Gen Xers, 13% of baby boomers, and only 10% of people 70 years and older have a tattoo. So the age group fits really well as well. Finally, among young people, women are getting tattoos at much higher rates than men. According to the study from before, 31% of the guys that they went and talked to had one or more tattoos. In comparison, 51% of the women had a tattoo. So, as you can see, this fits very well with the type of people that we're trying to target with this promotion, and it works out pretty well. So I'm going to let Arturo come and explain exactly how we're planning to pull this off.
Vision without execution is hallucination. How are we going to pull this off? To be successful, we're going to focus on three main things. First of all, tattoo tents, then social media, and metrics. In our tattoo tents, we're going to have the RVCA SoundCloud playlist playing in the background, and also we're going to be giving away brochures for people to know where can they find our products. Also, we will have professional tattoos such as Miriam Lampini talking to girls about what motivates them, what drives them, what ticks them, in order to get that self-expression in their tattoos. Also, in the social media side, we're going to be having professional filming everything that's going on in our tents. And this is going to be posted on social media under the hashtag RVCA Tattoo Tents. This is going to be follow-up stories about whatever's going on in our tents. Ultimately, the RVCA staff will be we will be using spectacles to broadcast everything that's going on live on the social media Snapchat, which is the most popular app for this for our particular target market. Up next, Oshara is going to talk to us about how will we measure success.
So how are we going to be measuring the success of our idea? First, we're going to be using 3 parameters to measure our success. Firstly, how is the RVCA tattoo tents idea trending? So we want to make sure that through the social media accounts of our tatsmiths, we reach out to a wide set of audience and thereby get our message across effectively through high media impressions and make sure that our target audience gets exactly what we're trying to portray. And this can be monitored through data and analytics. Secondly, we're going to have social sentiment analysis. So we are going to measure how the internet is responding and talking about our idea. So we're going to follow up on all the positive things that people are saying about our brand, as well as how contagious the idea is through social sentiment analysis. Finally, and most importantly, the sales impact. The most important idea behind our campaign is to increase brand awareness. Increasing brand awareness means that we will be increasing sales. And this can be monitored as our sales will go from about 40% to 50% for the girls segment.
This is a wonderful time for RVCA. We have an amazing opportunity right now to increase girls' share of sales and expand our market across the country. This isn't just some gimmick to give a few girls tattoos. This is a unique, one-of-a-kind opportunity to demonstrate our deepest values, our consumers' deepest values, and to liberate those values across the country to say, we're the brand for you. Thank you.
First of all, very cool idea with tattoo. Just wonder if you have considered that tattoo also just a trend, right? So once, and you mentioned that the girl wants to be unique, and once everybody starts getting tattooed, would that be kind of out, like counteract your the girl image of being unique because everybody else also had tattoos.
So one thing is tattoos are permanent, so it's not just a fad that you can just be, oh, tattoos are cool anymore, you get rid of mine easily. But also the tattoo tints idea is only going to be on a handful of campuses. It's not going to probably be a huge. The focus is the viral video that we're making out of it. It's not going to. We're not going to be giving people thousands of tattoos enough to change the number, the percentages of people out there who have tattoos.
And an important aspect of the tattoo is that each individual gets to choose their own designs based on what drives them as individuals. So it's very unlikely that you're going to find two unique people getting the same exact tattoo. So your tattoo is different than my tattoo, is different than her tattoo.
You guys mentioned something about secondary research. So, like, what was the methodology that you used to arrive at those 4 locations?
So what we basically did was a 3-fold secondary research. The first thing was basically identifying our target market. So where does the 19-year-old woman live across the US? Once we identified those pockets of high density, then we filtered out on those women who have a history of spending on athleisure wear and apparel spending. So then we filtered out on those few women. Out of those women, we again filtered out based on level of education. So ultimately, we arrived at a small 4-location area where there were a high number of women. They had college education and they had a high history of past spending on apparel. So that's how we arrived at the 4 locations that we mentioned in the slides.
Danny?
For the viral video, what would your focus be? Like, would it be on the tattoo tents or the artists or the tattoos themselves?
For the viral videos, one of the main things that we're trying to do is to portray everything that these women are trying to self-express. One of the key things that we saw here is that they're trying to look for the freedom of self-expression, and we want to broadcast their own story that is so unique that people want to hear about, and also they're going to be also being posted on the not only on RVCA's social media sites or pages, but also in the artists, the tatsmen themselves. They're going to be posted there. They have a lot of followers, and they're going to be talking about how they come up with the idea of that specific and unique tattoo for them.
Niti.
So I want to know that how much life expectancy is there of your marketing strategy? Don't you think it's quite short-lived? It's pretty much piggybacking on what Anne said. The marketing strategy might just go on for a few months. You won't be able to use it for a number of years to market RVCA in your territory.
So actually the point of this is to be able to extend this campaign for about 6 to 8 months. We're not planning on doing this forever because the thing that we're trying to achieve right now is to increase our market share in terms of women. And at that point, we're going to turn to a different campaign. Of course, keeping that freedom of expression mindset, but it's not necessarily going to be after that tattoo tents because, of course, like every other campaign in any other market agency, you have to switch to a new campaign and do things differently in order to keep your target audience, even though you're keeping the same essence, the same messages at home.
And then add to that is that by this campaign, we aim to increase the brand awareness, to create the excitement, to create the demand for RVCA into the girls segment.
Sorry.
So just curious, as Jennifer points out, tattoo is permanent, and I understand millennials do not have any barrier to have tattoos on their body, but as your research revealed that older people have certain barrier to have tattoos, right? And as a parent, I'm a father. I don't want my kid to wear a brand which recommend tattoo to its customers to be original. And actually, you say it's short period of time marketing strategy that it might decrease or it might hurt brand image, I think. So how do you overcome?
Okay. We definitely considered that risk. And also do we want to be known as the tattoo brand, right? But if we think back to the Heineken example that we were showing in class, Heineken took that risk of, man, are we going to be known as the travel brand all of a sudden? And clearly that wasn't the case, right? It was just a campaign tactic, a promotion that fit their values really well, and that's how we see this. So yes, tattoos are a risk, but we also have to remember that, yes, sure, we're giving a few girls tattoos, right? Maybe a dozen, right? Even though the main point of this campaign isn't the tattoo itself, but it's to demonstrate that we have our consumers' values. So yes, maybe a dozen people are going to get tattoos out there, but the main point is the video and videos that are going to be promoted on RVCA's social media, the Tatsmith's social media, and just consumers saying, man, we really want to be a part of that. Come to my school. Please, please, RVCA, come to my school so we can just get our tattoo designs, whether we get them or not. How cool to have your own individualized, personalized design. It doesn't have to be on you, right? But to come away with something that's incredibly unique, that represents you, that's pretty cool.
But tattoo is already something that is original, right? So
Sorry?
tattoo itself is original, I think.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
So what's the difference between tattoo parlor and tattoo dance?
Tattoo
Tattoo parlor, it's the same thing, right?
So at a minimum, we would have some quality control on these. We definitely wouldn't let people get tattoos on their hands or faces or necks or anything that would hurt employment prospects in the future. And also, we also would be trying to hold our tattoos to a higher standard of quality. We wouldn't be doing just a heart with mom on it, or an anchor, or all the traditional ones. We'd really be, the idea was to have the tattoo artists spend a lot of time with the person to find out what really, really makes them tick, and symbolism in their life, and go to a lot of effort to find something just completely different and really awesome.
To follow up with that, what we have seen so the data doesn't lie. So what we're looking at the data is the high amount of people getting tattoos, and specifically in millennials is a high rate. And in millennials, girls are getting a lot more tattoos than men. So when we look at that data, at 19 years old, these girls are looking for independence. They're looking to do something different. And even though sometimes, and I hate to say this, but sometimes their parent will not agree, they will still choose to express themselves freely. So this is what we're looking at this campaign. We're not trying to force them into doing anything. We're just saying, we're okay if you want to express yourself.
How about from the back? It's been pretty quiet.
Oh, I want to open it to the floor since there's so much interest in this.
So you mentioned that the video will be viral, but RVCA has a pretty terrible social media presence. So what would you do to actually make a video go viral? Because it's a great idea to make a video, but then it could get lost.
So the key here is that it's not just going to be one video that RVCA is going to post. It's going to be a series of videos that are strategically kind of dispersed throughout this campaign. And again, we're not just promoting it on RVCA's social media, which currently doesn't have too much of a following, but we're also promoting it on the Tatsmiths, who represent our brand and who are actually engaging in this campaign. And with the idea that we're going to get a lot of following through them and a lot of following through the people who are like, wow, we really want to be a part of this. And just like regular people like you and me saying, man, I wish RVCA came to my school. So that's going to help draw more attention and hopefully more following to our social media sites as well.
To add to that, we also think that it's going to be cool to be having this tent that is calling attention on campus where there's, 20, 30,000 people, students going there, and people wearing spectacles and filming everything. So people are going to be so happy that this is going to be broadcast live. We believe that case is going to be this kind of particular item lost Snapchat. So everything is going to go up from there. That's going to be the epicenter, but then it's going to be follow-up stories in all different social media sites. So we think that this is going to be so cool that people are going to be posting pictures, talking about it, sharing with their friends. So I think it's going to be a success.
Tyler?
You've mentioned a couple of times that the tattoos that would be created on the customers would be unique from what they want themselves. Does that mean you expect the girls to come in with their own pre-designs, or come up with the design themselves?
So the RVCA Tatsmith that we've been referring to, we're going to have several of them, and they're going to be experienced tattoo artists who can actually sit down and talk with these lucky girls and guys and have like a really great conversation with them to figure out what makes them tick, who they are, what they're interested in, what their past is, what their family is, who they care about, everything that makes them themselves. And while they're interviewing them, they're going to be taking notes and maybe making some sketches, and hopefully with the end result being a really unique, individual, and personalized design for that person based on their conversation with the tatsman.
Okay, time's up. Thank you.
We'd like to leave you guys with the words of one of our tatsmiths, Miriam Lumpini. Don't be afraid to take risks and to figure out what works for you. And trust your instincts to pursue your passions. Thank you.